all dungeons What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. We're in the final all dungeons tournament here, by the way. So today we're bringing you the losers bracket round 7 match between Eriror and Andy. So this match will actually decide who advances to the losers finals, because the next match is going to be the losers finals. And I think my mic is slightly cutting out. I do apologize for that right now, but my CPU is kind of dying. Sorry about. But if I'm not, let me know in the chat. But yeah, whoever wins today will be advancing to the losers finals, and whoever loses will be just barely missing the podium here with a fourth place finish here. So stakes are pretty high. So we've got you two awesome commentators today. We've got you, Perfect Deck and Dow TMB.
Yo, how's it going?
How's it going?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. So with that being said, I think I'm done with my intro, and I hope my mic wasn't cutting out too much. Sorry, I'm on a really bad laptop. I'm not actually handling the stream from the laptop.
Yeah, we should definitely have a good one today. We got Ari versus Andy, two really good runners. Ari's got the top PB time left in the tourney. Andy finally got his 111. So we're now officially out of the 112s, still left in the tournament. But should be a really good one. Should be a really exciting one. So like we said, this is the second to last match in the losers finals. Winner of this will play Dow over here to have the right to try to beat Wayne twice.
Yeah, and Wayne has the second best time left, and it's only 4 seconds slower than Aries. So it's not like there's not still a bunch of competition left in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's still the case that any of you four can take this thing just because of how volatile this category is. Ari and Blaine are the only players with 110s left. All the other ones got eliminated, and then you and Andy have 111s now. So I mean, it's just like Andy's like really consistent. Basically, he's lost two. He lost one in groups, and then he lost the one in brackets, and he lost both of those because he hard locked. So besides that, he's done really well. Like he's put up like a 112 in every single match, which is really good. I don't know too many people who've done that. I think even Ari put up like a 113 in one of his matches. So and he's just like super consistent. I mean, Ari's really consistent too, and obviously really good. So that should be a good one. Should be a pretty fun one.
Yep. And both of these guys play a bunch, play all the time, rando, speedruns, whatever. And so as it turns out, playing a lot and kind of, playing with intent to go fast and try to win, makes you pretty consistent. So we'll see how.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Andy playing so much with the randomizer, like I've seen him play, like, and he gets like in a bad situation and like, or he'll mess up like Mummy Hellway or something. Like he can just recover it really easily, where I would just like try to save it, but just keep trying to go fast and just die. So like the fact that he can pull off like some really sticky situations, only lose a handful of seconds, is, especially in a tournament setting, is super valuable. And then of course Ari is just Ari. He goes super fast. Just really good at this game. One of the 4 people to have a 123 in NMG now, so just like his base skill line is through the roof.
5 people, but yeah.
5, right? Yeah.
He did pull off something incredible to me yesterday. He got a 650 GT, which is, I think, like the second fastest in this category. Pretty silly, actually. 650.
Yeah. It's a really fast. He got like a sub 7 in one of the tournament matches, like where he had a pretty bad tower, or he messed like or it was like a 4-cycle aggro. So it was like something really dumb, and he still got a sub 7. I'm like, what the hell?
I know he got a sub 7 with Old Man Refill, which was
that's what it was. It was an Old Man Refill, and I think it was like a 3-cycle on top of that too. So.
But yeah, I mean, these early sections, we're kind of talking about GT because the thing is, like, Escape here, we're going to expect to see like 2 to 3 seconds of difference, like basically at max between the two runners. And then in GT alone, it could be 20 or 30 seconds, just depending on, you know, if one of them has a fantastic GT and something goes really bad for the other one or something like that.
Yeah, I mean the big thing in this category, obviously all the clips and tricks you got to do. A lot of them go pretty spectacularly wrong, so you tend to lose time in giant chunks in this category, as opposed to just like the death by 1,000 paper cuts. You'll see more on like an RMG run. So you know, playing cleanly is importantly. That's how you're gonna kind of get a lead. But just making one mistake from either of these guys can pretty much just give it to the other one. Okay, got Eri. Eri showing how little there is to do in escape by correcting our history here.
Eri really likes to know where his opponent is. I don't know that it affects his quality of play at all, but he does really like to know where his opponent is. So I think Eri's watched every race that he's been able to.
Yeah, I tend to watch them too. I honestly would get more nervous. I don't know where my opponent is. I would like just focus on like every little thing. So, and like it does help you adjust your strategy a little bit. Like if you know your opponent has made one of those major mistakes, you may want to play a little more conservative. Just make sure you don't make a major mistake and just kind of, you know, take the win that way. So it's good information to have.
Yeah, but Eri's the type of guy who, even if he was 6 minutes ahead, he's still going to go for Ice Balance Mirror Rep, right? He's still going to do everything because he wants as a 109 and he knows he can get it.
Yeah, well, that's why I said sometimes the best thing that can happen into this is you have a lead and you're on like not the best run, so you're not trying to also save a PB. So you're a little less inclined to go for some of that stuff. But yeah, because I've had a couple runs in this where I was on PB pace, even though I had a lead, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna do everything. Screw it.
I probably expect also Andy to just go for things if he's ahead, because the thing is, like, if you don't go for Ice Palace Mirror Rep, it's like what, 8 seconds or so, assuming like a perfect mirror wrap versus just walking. Yeah, and it's like, that's a pretty big chunk of time that you don't want to just give up for free.
You're there like 2 minutes or something. Like
yeah.
You need a pretty big disaster if you're
like,
ahead by like
you're
that
only 30-ish seconds ahead. It's like, are you giving up 8 of those 30 seconds?
Yeah. I would not do it for 30 seconds. Anything that's even looks like blue ball range, I would not do any of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on your philosophy. I know, not necessarily tournament related, but FSG kind of has the theory to just do what you normally do. If you try like back up into safety, you're just less practiced with it probably, even though it's quote unquote safer. So you're just more likely to mess it up, honestly.
Well, if this game has proven anything, it's that you can just kind of die sometimes. And so
yeah,
if you're not really practiced at what you're doing, you can just kind of die.
Who dies in phase 2 of Trinex, man?
I think everybody's been there. You get on like 2 hearts at Trinex fight, and all of a sudden you're just like, where do I stand again for this double spin? You're like second guessing yourself the whole time.
Yeah. How many people get hit twice in the second phase, though?
Well, that's a bit rarer.
Eri getting his casual 51, Andy coming in slightly behind with a 54. No rat frames from either of these guys, so no advantage there.
Yeah, you said probably 2 to 3 seconds. There's a clip coming up that first try for both of them is, I don't know if I want to say likely, if that's the word, probable, also kind of the same meaning, but I expect them to get it first or second try here. And it's just like the difference between like a slow first try and a fast second try, honestly, not that much. So sometimes even going for these clips, like taking it safe and slow, even though you get it first try, you're still losing a bunch of time. So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It just depends on like where you fail it in that first try. But yeah, I've had like second try like 112s and stuff, so you can still save a decent chunk of time. Yeah, Eri showing off the hardest part of this clip is getting in, and Andy is able to pass him with that entry. Andy getting a 111 entry, Eri getting like a 115. It looks like just like for whatever reason that first pixel is the hardest, and it's really hard to adjust back into it if you don't line it up correctly.
Yeah, because you also kind of need like, well, I kind of like tap my way into the wall, and if you tap like for too many frames, then you just also get kicked out. So it's like, where do I go in? Sometimes.
Yeah, like if you overshoot it a little bit, you can actually just kind of like continue to like slash just left. You don't have to move up, and like because you're going on the slope, it'll push you up and in. But yeah, sometimes it just feels impossible.
Also throwing the pot up there, which happens when you're trying to go fast, and then you like kind of mash diagonals and up, and you are flying through the controller, but only costs like about a second and a half or so.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's just because you want to move up after that pot throw, just you get your order of operations slightly wrong.
We're coming up on a big key damage boost here. I pretty much expect both of these guys to get it first try, 1.5 hearts. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Hate when it does.
Yeah, very nice from both of them. Both getting a good deboost up too.
Eri got the rope or the popo pattern where I can't tell if it's in the wall or not, so I always just slash it.
Yeah, I tend to be a baby with that popo and just kind of murder it. I don't even bother using the boom on that one because like if he's too far to the left, you can get missed. Oh, and Eri getting bodied by one of the Stalfos there. Not too big of a deal, but it's not too terribly hard to miss an input on double readies and give them a kiss. So
or go too fast in this upcoming room and die.
Oh yeah, we had Lynx ended up doing that. I remember in one of the matches. Eri does go fast. Both of them getting a no touch in there. Eri getting a slightly bigger no touch, but didn't die. So oh jeez.
Okay.
That was a very rude cannonball pattern, but yeah. I mean, again, should be fine, but I mean, we've all slightly messed up Armos and kissed one of them. It would be a pretty big shame for a match like this to have a death in Eastern, because it's a pretty big. It's over a minute. It's not like the biggest thing, but because you're on 3 hearts, it doesn't take very much to go wrong for it to. I mean, Eri didn't even. What Eri got hit by wasn't even his fault. The Stalfos was his way, and he had a really bad cannonball pattern. It wouldn't have been that out of the realm of ordinary for him to get hit by a second cannonball in there.
I guess he could have, slash the Stalfos to not take the hit, but then it's jumping and it's probably jumping up and then it's still moving to the right. It's like, dude, just get out of the way.
Yeah, that Stalfos can be kind of a pain in the ass. So we are going to see a little divergence here. Andy is not going to be picking up these bombs. He's the only runner who does the sword clips into Kiki. Eri's going to be grabbing the bombs here. So as always with Andy with the strat, if he does do it first try, he's going to save a significant amount of time. He saves like 8 seconds if you do it like very, very well. But it's very tricky. It's definitely possible just to lose a bunch of time. It's like Citrus on steroids, more or less.
Yes.
These used required. The bomb clips is really what made a tournament like this really possible, because a lot of runners just really can't do these, or it would take them forever to do with like select buffers.
Yeah, so the big difference between citrus and typical sword clips, or sword clips and bomb clips, is that citrus and bomb clips are only going to take like 1 or 2 kind of really precise inputs. Whereas with these sword buffers that Andy's going for, it's like 8.
It's 9, I believe.
Is it 9? It's 9 like 1 frame inputs. And so it's like, and they're diagonals, which is super obnoxious. But messing up any of those puts you back to the start. And you have to do all of them again.
Yeah, Doom's right. You get 1. It's 9 into the wall. It's 8 1-frame buffers. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, even if you're something like 90% consistent with something, with like like doing 9 in a row, like the odds of you just doing all those in a row correctly is pretty low. So I'm always jealous of Andy's ability to do this stuff. Like, I'm pretty good at citrus, but like I just cannot do this to save my life.
Okay. Well,
no, Andy
messed up a little bit. Got to find Hera. Okay.
So
well,
he's gonna go to
have
Hera. Oh, no, okay. I think this is the better thing to do. I know some people have talked about like going to Hera first, but every time I've tried that, I end up losing like just like a year. So I think this is the better thing to do. I think if you do the Hera, it's like you're supposed to also do like a mirror DMD or something for it to actually be worthwhile. But so
okay. That was an excellent sword clip.
yeah, Andy definitely saved time there. I mean, you can see he had a pretty major mistake, and he's only really like 2 rooms behind here. So definitely getting a lot of that time save on that sword clip. But because of the mistake, he is now trailing.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that even if it's ever so slightly faster to do Hera first, you have to change up the way you're doing the run, and it kind of gets in your head like, what was I supposed to? And now you're thinking about what you have to do so much more than you normally are. And you're missing that bomb, which is not good.
Yeah, it's he has a lot different bomb route than most players because he's missing those 3 free ones. I don't even think he generally even comes out of pod with 10. But since he sword clips everything, he does need well, not everything. Some of the bomb clips are just straight up faster, like the Meyer to Hera. But he does need less bombs. Oh, wow. Okay, so he's going to be in bomb trouble here.
Yeah, if he can make it through Meyer with at least without running out of bombs, then it doesn't much matter because you can get a ton in Swamp.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. The thing is, like, there's a lot of the bombs that are used are like you can just find ways around them. Like, you can just not do the bomb, the Swamp overrolled bomb clip, especially if you do the spin speed clip. It's only like 2 seconds. It's not that big. Hell, Boyne does it, on purpose, as I make fun of him for all the time. And then like the ice rod, you can just teleport it, so you can save a bomb there. So there are a way around some of those bombs. He can also just, he can get lucky, run into a couple drops.
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is just because for the most part, like, bombs are in pod and then Swamp. So it's like, I mean, we do have a couple of like one-off bombs, and maybe you get lucky with the bomb slug and Meyer, right? Something like that. But in general, it feels like we only are going to collect bombs at a couple places.
Yeah, well, you also don't need to use too many between those two, besides that Swamp overworld. So it's not too terribly bad. It's really going into Meyer. He'll need some, but again, he does the sword clip for Hera to Swamp, and like, you can always citrus the Meyer to Hera one. So you have that as a potential backup too.
Harry with a 517 statue, that's pretty fast.
I don't know how he gets 5. Like, I have like super clean ones, and I have like a 520, and I'm just like, how? Where am I losing 3 seconds? Yeah, meanwhile, Annie has a 38 statue. That's not. I mean, it's bad, but
it was like over 10 seconds just because he went into Hera, right?
Yeah.
So,
that was
one mistake was most of it.
Yeah, but what I was saying is, like, that's bad, but it's like I've had I've had pods where I don't make a mistake that major, and I still have like a 3x. So certainly, I mean, it's definitely recoverable. I'm getting bullied by SM players now. This is fair.
Well,
Actually,
I've heard you are an SM main now.
I am clearly an SM main. I'm also bad at that. So, enabling a little turtle potter here. Able to avoid the hit though.
You did a great job maneuvering through the fireballs there to keep hitting Helma, which is significantly fast.
Yeah, it does take a heart of damage there, or a hit of damage there. Doesn't matter when you have full health. That's one of the benefits of having full health, is you can be a little more aggressive, which is why I've been saying it's like, even if you did want to like skip Sank and skip the hearts, like you just be relying on such good Helma RNG because you have to play it safer, or just still go balls to the wall and just really pray he lets you do it. That it's so not worth.
All right, well, both are through Helma Sorking and Pod, which is definitely the biggest roadblock for, honestly, the first half of this entire run. Most of the rest of the run is, like, well, I guess the first half of this feels pretty, relaxed, I guess, compared to the end. The last half is where we're really going to see just kind of, most of the glitches just kind of like back to back. So, first half here, now it's going to be quite a bit less interesting for maybe the next 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we kind of enter a little NMG segment here. Thieves starts off a little differently with this DMD, and then we do a fighter sword. Not too big of a deal in Thieves Town, especially with Blind taking 1 damage from all weapons. But it just ends up being... Oh, we got to do Hera first. I mean, Hera is... I'm just skipping ahead. This is how much I hate Hera. I just want to think about it.
Hera is not even any different because you never get here on full health in regular NMG runs anyways. So, like, it's actually just the same.
Yeah, I mean, well, the only difference is the boomerang is actually more optimal here because we don't start on mirror. Like, the mirror is only faster in NMG because we're already on it. So when you have to menu anyways, a boomerang actually becomes a little bit faster. So
the
you
real
see
difference is, this guy on Andy's screen, like, he threw it to the right there because that Moldorm is a jerk and will block your boomerang like 80% of the time. Because I don't know.
Yeah, I do notice the gatekeeper Moldorm at the top because we're coming out of the basement cage there. I guess because we're in the room for less time. I don't know. He just seems like he's in better spots in AD than in NMG more often than not. He screws me less in this category.
Mostly, well, I haven't seen the Kandongo really ever breathe fire and block your path, which occasionally happens in NMG.
I want to say it's happened to me, but I don't quite remember. And then obviously the major benefit is we do get to hammer Moldorm, which is much better. No enrage phase, and that hammer plus Moldorm hitbox is pretty wild. I've seen some pretty corrupt hits on that guy.
He is going for early bomb jump. He's been doing this basically since he started running the category. It's still pretty dangerous. If you miss it, you lose like 50 seconds. If you get it, you save like 1. Or I guess it's closer to 2 because you kind of save
I
menu.
think it's like 2 seconds.
But it's one of those high-risk strategies. I won't exactly call it low reward because when you're as fast as Eri is, you want every second you can get.
Yeah, like I've done it. It's not too bad. The reason I'm just so don't want to put it in is because like NMG, it's Hera's already reset heavy as it is, and then in this, like you got through the reset heavy part, and it's like you don't want to add another one right afterwards for 2 seconds. So like I do a lot of the dumb stuff in this category, and UBJ is just the one that I just really don't feel like doing.
Yep, Andy with a good mold arm kill, but a kind of more typical bomb jump. So even though his hero was pretty good there, and he's going to be losing a little bit of time here to Eri, just because of Aries was great.
Yeah, I mean, Eri will probably be putting up some time in these next couple seconds. As I said, it's very just straight NMG. Eri, obviously one of the best NMG players out there. So, like his Hera through Skullwood segments tend to be very good. I mean, all of them tend to be very good, but like it's just these are the ones that he definitely, you know, even before he had like the low 110, like he would, you know, just do really well in these like segments versus like me, who like maybe was a little better at the clips, but just not as good as like just at the game.
Yeah, which is something we kind of touched on a bit earlier with Andy going for sword clips and Eri not, which is that like there are kind of two really distinct skill sets in this category, which is the NMG, where we're doing, you know, Thieves Town here, and it's almost exactly the same as we would do it normally in a regular 80% run. And then all the clips, which are very much their own skill set. To get as good as these guys, you have to be pretty good at both of them, but it is definitely something to still keep an eye out for.
Yeah, you can definitely get pretty good times in this category just by getting good at the clips. It's kind of where I made my bread and butter, just being really good at the clips, not so good at the actual game part. Like I have like more resets in Thieves Town than anyone else because I'm just bad at like the normal parts of the game. But like all the stupid clip stuff, it's just like everyone else is like resetting. Like, oh, it's fine, it's easy. just push the buttons, man. All right, I'm gonna get some more coffee because I had to set an alarm for this.
Yeah, Eri gets kind of a bad pattern there. Hard to know exactly what to do. Hard to react fast enough as well. Oh, Eri missing the hammer, which isn't going to matter that much, but the important thing is you get the bomb on the Stalfos in the bottom right there, which he did. So it's fine.
Oh, did Andy not use a bomb in the block room?
We're not there yet.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if he normally grabs that toilet bomb. The bomb route in this category is very customizable, especially because some of the bombs that are used are optional, depending if you do sword clips or if you do the swamp overload one, or you can do like cane dash instead of the bomb in Ice Palace. So like everyone has a completely different bomb route, honestly. So it's really hard to say like, oh, he normally picks that up or he doesn't. But I think he should be fine. Like normally I would be on like 9 bombs here, and then I think we use the same bombs though, because I do cane dash and bomb level 4 where he does a bomb there, but he does the sword clip and swamp. So I'm not entirely sure, but should be okay. 8 is certainly manageable. You can kind of finesse your bomb route enough that it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so the big thing is that you have enough bombs to get into Turtle Rock. Like, as long as you meet that requirement, it doesn't matter. Because then there's a couple of bombs you can get. We need 1 for GT, but there's 1 literally in our way. Although it does make the menus a little awkward. And there's a bomb in Turtle Rock, which is just like a second or 2 slower than kind of the optimal strat. So whatever...
I was gonna say, it's only 20 frames slower to get the Turtle Rock bomb if you bail out of the optimal strat, because then you have to do the GT backup, which is kind of slow too. So they're pretty close, honestly. Which one do you want to get?
Yeah, I always go for the Turtle Rock one because, like I said, then all of a sudden GT gets a little bit awkward. The menus are in slightly different places, and it bugs me. So I always want a bomb going into GT.
Yeah, honestly, for 20 frames, and the Turtle Rock strat's pretty hard too. So if to get the bomb is actually a pretty free strat. So like to actually get those 20 frames, you have to do a lot perfectly. Like remembering not to menu when you don't have bombs yet is a big one.
Or like accidentally fire rotting or something because you're so used to just menuing the bombs.
Yeah, it's just it's just a little bit different with where you pick up the bomb, because you use the bomb then pick up a bomb, as opposed to the other one you or no, you already have the bomb when you pick it up or something like that. So like where the menu ends up is slightly different.
All right, Eri did do a slightly nerve-wracking thing there. Not that we expect it. It's like a 17 frame window, and only one frame is bad. He gets through it, no problem.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like as long as you react to the cue and not like try to predict it, because it's like the first frame of that window is the bad one. So as long as you're not trying to like predict it and try to hit it first frame, you'll be fine. And then like there is a hard lock, but Ham had the talking to everyone on how to fix it. So the hard lock part doesn't really matter anymore, but it still is a soft lock. You still lose a minute, but it's not, you don't lose 10, which would pretty much just be game ending. Doom, are you asking why this game does stupid stuff? Don't you know better than that?
Honestly, it probably is a game trying to do two things at once, even though the game is pretty good about handling that, actually. It just gives us kind of funky results. Like a significant number of the glitches in this category are a result of doing two things at the same frame.
Yeah. I think that's just true of like the SNES and or a lot of the retro consoles in general, just because they didn't really have a way of dealing with concurrency, more or less, so just odd stuff would happen.
I think probably given where it was in terms of game development, it also just wasn't a thing that crossed people's minds nearly as much as it does.
Yeah, the good old race conditions. Well, I guess that wouldn't be a race; it's just literally two things at the same time. But
yeah, Eri got not a great pattern from the mummies there. The way they move is actually pretty random. They always like try to chase Link, but they turn on essentially random frames. I forget exactly how it's decided. I believe it's on a frame rule. But what that means for us is that you never quite know where they're going to end up. And it feels like even if you do the same inputs, you're going to get different results. So and he dashed up there. I don't know that I've seen that before.
where'd he dash? Oh,
Into the
Mummy
two
statue?
berries. Yeah. But yeah, 5 hearts here for back half of Skull. Not a big deal unless Mummy Hellway goes a little bit wrong, which it can. Not that we expect it to. When you get pretty practice, this room looks easy, but basically you have pretty tight windows, and if you mess anything up, you're getting hit.
Yeah, that old thing where Andy threw the pot up in Eastern, which happens every once in a while. It's pretty much the same thing in here, but this room kills you when that happens. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's one of the when I was talking about before with Andy with his randomizer experience. I don't know what that was on Andy's screen. He was also looked a little exasperated about that. Should still have enough magic. I'm not actually entirely sure. I think if he did the cipher strat where he gets the magic, he would have been fine.
Yeah, you need. We use 5 rod shots here. You get 1 magic, so.
Yeah, no, he definitely needed
last magic, but
he needed most of that. Yeah,
did need one of them.
Yeah, that missing all those was definitely pretty bad. I mean, he was also going for the left side shot there. You don't see that too often. It only is like a frame faster or something. Like it's
It's faster because you get like a little bit of diagonal movement as opposed to like dashing in, which is not too significant. The thing is, like, the side shot has a much tighter window to hit than from the bottom.
Yeah, and Blaine pointed out, Aria's on a very good pace. He's -9. Also, as Blaine's pointing out, though, we've kind of entered the the AD portion of AD. This desert can just straight up kill your pace. Mire can kill your run, and then like swamp and ice just have a bunch of tricky stuff in them. That can lose a bunch of time. Turtle Rock, same thing. That swim just by itself can lose you a couple seconds. So Ares looking pretty good, but we've entered AD of the AD.
Yep, for sure. And these Death Mountain screens are here. The Dead Rock's kind of behaving, but you never know until you're done with them. And okay, we get through it. So it's like, ooh. The Dead Rocks are the worst because if they do happen to block your path, it's like a 12-second time loss. It's really significant.
Dude, I've died to them. We always say like, well, there's no reason, even if you're a beginner, don't take this old man heal because like, what's gonna happen to you? And like, just one time I had the world's worst Dead Rocks, and I died. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, let me correct myself. If they're nice and only block you once, you're losing about 12 seconds. But if they do, the typical Dead Rock thing of blocking you 7 times in a row as you dash into them, then yeah, you can take damage because for whatever reason, when you hit them,
you can get like
you
stuck
still
in
take
their
damage,
hitbox.
and yeah, it's stupid.
They are they might be one of the worst enemies in all of video game like history. Like they are just so incredibly bad, especially from a speedrun perspective, because they turn to stone and they just sit there for 8 seconds, and like everything in this game is 6 seconds. This is the one thing that takes 8, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Eric gets through the bomber, which is definitely contender for worst screen in this run. That bomber has a mind of its own and sometimes will just kill you. And a great clip there.
Ari just continuing to chug along, having a pretty good split right here. Pretty much gotten through the run killing portion of desert. Once you're in desert, really the only time lost you're really going to get in here is getting some bad RNG on Lamo and losing like up to 6 seconds. But I mean, Ari's ahead by 9, so even that's not too terrible right now.
It's also apparently up against a pretty bad desert in his PB.
Yeah, the 22, even for me, wouldn't be all that great.
So Andy is gonna opt to save a bomb here, use this spin speed clip, which is, I don't quite understand how it works, because I'm pretty sure he was on the right pixel and he didn't get it right away. So
I mean, it's just like DMA.
Is it? Because I
Yeah,
feel like sometimes I'm on the right pixel there and it doesn't work, which is why I stopped going for it.
I think, like, are you using the water for a Q? Because I think Blaine said something about like water isn't actually consistent on like depending on like how you approach it or something. So I don't know, but yeah, I haven't messed with it too much. So I don't really If I do back up into it, I kind of just do it on pure feel, so I don't really know the cues all that well.
I also stopped doing it because spin speed is also a 1-frame trick, and I don't need more of that in my life. So. Andy's skipping the arrows.
Yeah, he's a little low on his count. You treat like it ends up just being your arrow route. You want to be exactly the same as NMG, where you want like 21 heading into Mire, and then your like the math you would do in Turtle Rock. Just if you have to pick up those arrows, you're just doing in Swamp instead, and then Swamp has like 2 opportunities to get arrows. So yeah, he's a little low. Definitely needs to get these before Lamo here, but these arrows are pretty free.
Yeah, so you want to be on at least 18 going into GT. Really, in this category. Oh, right, 13. I was thinking Armos. 13. We're going to use 8 to 10 in Mire. Well, hopefully 8 to 10. If things go bad, we might need to use more. And in this category, because we're probably not going to take the old man heal, so we need to use arrows instead of beams to hit a switch, or I guess you could do a walk strat that FSG did, which was weird. I don't think anybody does that. If you do that, then you also kind of need extra arrows, and then you want extra arrows for Gauntlet. So even still, entering GT with 13 arrows in this category is not exactly the greatest of ideas, although you can get away with it.
Yeah, I never. If I'm on 13, I'll always grab an extra pot in Swamp, just because it's just a little too thin. I mean, it's not that hard to miss an arrow on the Ice Armor's fight either. So I always want at least 1 extra heading into that, and like you said, you do want even more for the back half.
You're taking extra heart of damage here. It doesn't matter. We're going to get a full heal in just a minute. So messing up that spike room mostly feels bad more than it is bad.
Yeah, it's only a problem if he has more problems, basically.
All right, somebody's got to teach Ari how to beat the fireball because he could have done it there.
I'm sure he knows. He probably just is opposed to it.
Even when you're going to get a full heal?
Yeah, I don't know. That was so weird. Like, sometimes I feel like I have super clean movement and I get hit by it, and then sometimes it's like sloppy and I'm not paying attention and I go for it and I get it. Like, I know there's a frame roll there, and a lot of it is just that. But yeah, I don't know. It feels random to me. Andy not counting his fire snakes.
Yeah, it's actually not that easy to kind of count them when you're playing. Going for the bomb jump here. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
more select buffer. I think it was like 3 or 4. I think. He did like a pause on the first? Oh, was he using that to switch to bomb? Okay, that's interesting. Oh wait, no, he's already on bombs.
Yeah,
they're
on bombs.
Well, they're technically in the same room right now. It's just Area's a whole loop ahead.
Yeah, Ari's on phenomenal pace right here. Andy is on pretty solid pace as well. But as always, pace in these categories, or in this category in particular, doesn't matter too much because of all of our RNG is right at the end.
Aries not going for the sword clips there. Did he change? I could have sworn he was doing sword clips there for a while. I don't know if he kind of changed his mind on it.
I think I can't speak for certain, so I suppose we should ask him after the fact. Oh, Andy misses the bomb jump.
Yeah, he went 1 pixel too far.
I think the thing is that, like, sword clipping is probably Aries' least consistent thing in out of everything. And so
Yeah.
when you get on a really strong pace like this, you kind of fall back maybe on things you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, but like I said, it's that bomb clip's not the easiest thing in the world either. So, and then this room can turn into a nightmare like it did right there. So, but yeah, like that sword clips. I mean, we're gonna see it from Andy. Like where no one does the Kiki one because it's a right and it's like 8 frames. This one's only like it's like 3 frames in and then it's like a 3-frame diagonal. So it's a little bit more forgiving. And he says the lefts are harder for him, which is just mind-boggling to me. Like, doesn't make any sense. But like, you do see a lot more of like the top runners going for this sword clip because it's technically faster in the room if you do it very good. You can see Andy going for it right here. And then you also preserve your beams, which is helpful for Meyer too. And then there's a hover strat to let you preserve them to the back half, which saves about another second. And we'll see Andy go for all that dumb stuff here.
I think the hover, if done well, is also just faster.
Yeah, but like
falling in the pitch.
I think the list of people that save time on the hover is Andy. Like most people going for that hover. If you're breaking even in the room, you're probably okay. I can't save time in the room, even with some pretty decent hovers. It's a pretty tricky hover because it's so tight. Like you really just have to go for it. You don't really have like if you're doing like a Moldorm hover or something, or especially like rando, it's like you can set up. It's saving a decent amount of time, so you can like set up for it. But this is like you just have to go. Otherwise, you're losing time, and it's not worth it.
I know that when I do decide, like I'm hovering Moldorm today, like I am setting up my hand for the hover like a full room ahead of time.
Yeah, you can like maneuver through that entire room like with a sideways controller. It's not too big of a deal. Oh, unfortunately, Ari missing the spook in the first try. It does back it up though. Yeah, so losing a couple seconds there, but still on pretty good pace. I guess he's comparing to.
This is probably best splits.
Oh, best splits. Okay, I was about to say I thought maybe it was goal splits, but he still is running against a 10:03, so that's not it. So.
Ooh, got a poke on that eyeball, which.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that happens is that because we're so used to a spin, basically you need to do 3 spins on each of the eyes or 2 spins in an arrow, that when that happens, poke counts as not a spin, significantly less damage actually. But it also kind of gives that particular eye, it doesn't take a double spin, it will only get hit once. So it's really hard to notice because there's like 11 eyes and it's hard to pay attention to all of them.
Yeah. Andy having a little trouble with the spooky setup. But yeah, I mean, Andy's having a good run. It's just that Ari's having a great run. Like this is a good like tournament run. Having a little trouble here with this bomb. It's just Ari's on PB pace and he's got the second best PB in this category. So Ari's got a significant gap here, but that's just because Ari's playing out of his mind more than anything. And he's had a little slop. He's about 30 seconds behind his PB, which is just for like any given run is pretty typical. So it's not too terrible. I haven't seen these splits from Andy yet, so I have no idea where he's got time save or anything. I know his old ones, like his, like, it was like late game was terrible, so he had like just a year to save there. I kind of expect the same thing to be here, just because everyone's late game is always terrible in this.
Pretty much. A world record chance.
No.
I suppose it's possible.
I mean, like if he gold the rest of this, maybe.
But like that Meyer was not great for world record run, but 109, yeah, or PB chance, pretty reasonable here.
Yeah, I mean he's got a 10:03, 109 and PB is basically the same. That's one less blue ball, or that's one less warp. So it's the difference between those two we won't know until the pig explodes. I think Aries got a little bit of the nerves, just a little slop there in early swamp. That room's just kind of terrible.
Yeah, Swamp is kind of an interesting dungeon because when you do everything correctly, it's not so bad. It's pretty easy. You're not gonna get hit except for when occasionally the game decides that you're gonna get hit. But like when you start to slow down even just a little bit, all of a sudden enemies are in your way and things are not where they're supposed to be. And then it gets a little bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, in 80, this was like 3 things. It's the swamp exit, or the mire exit, diver down, and the 0 cycle. That's it. The rest of it's really straightforward. By the way, did we ever figure out, does that hook to the pot faster than just jumping off? Like, I saw the jump off love thing.
I think it is. By like 5 frames or something. I don't remember.
I mean, I'm sure it's very, very close.
Not enough for me to learn it, but enough for me to be like, I should learn that.
I guess the other thing is you don't have to hit the hook dash for that strat. Because the other one, you want to hit the hook dash for the... Oh, no, you'd want to hook dash to the left, right? I guess. Oh, unfortunately, Eri turns around.
Did you save it?
Like,
nope.
no, yeah. If he, like, he took a second too long resetting up the left side. If he got it a little bit quicker, he would have saved it, because he only missed that just very barely.
Still saving time here though, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, this is so typical of AD. Like, even though these are just kind of like NMG splits here, or like this, that fight's just an NMG thing. Like, it's just when you're on good pace, like there's just so much stuff. I think like the zero cycle in NMG is surrounded by less other hard things, so it feels less important, I guess, or maybe a little easier. But like this, like you just did diver down, you just did a clip, and now you're about to go through the like ice is just a gauntlet of clips. The mirror wrap into the bomb clip into icebreaker, and then
I don't know. I mean, 0 cycle on pace is still one of the most like nerve-wracking things out there. It's just like you have to first of all hit item dash with your sword out right when you walk into the room, basically, which is kind of scary. And then you have to do all the timing, and you have to do good movement to actually get the 0 cycle. And like there, Andy had the movement, but missed the item dash, so
yeah. And like that's the worst. And he almost saves it too.
And then you're like 10 frames too slow, and you have to wait 6 seconds where Argus is spinning nothing, which is really frustrating.
I mean, the save Andy had was really good. Basically, when you miss that very first one, that's how you get a 2 cycle, because it's hard to recover, and all of a sudden you're just kind of swimming, and the puffs are in weird spots, and you just can't get to them, and then you get a 2 cycle, that's like 30 seconds, if not more. Very nice icebreaker by Eri. Gets through it very cleanly.
Something I haven't seen it done like that to me.
I think that's the patented Boyne subpixel voodoo manipulation that like I watched. He had that like right when icebreaker came. I didn't even know how to do icebreaker, and he was like, "I made a video." And he's talking about like subpixel manipulation. And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Well, like he didn't even go to the wall there. He didn't even check anything on the wall. He just kind of put the block down out of the door.
Yeah, you can just pause on the pixel. You do need I still think that's technically not optimal, because you have to have the menu available, and the cane dash is faster. So I'm not entirely sure. But if you're gonna do bomb, that's gonna be the best way of doing it, I guess. All right, Andy does not hard lock. He could have just hard lock there. That way, he said the only reason he's lost, the only time he lost was with hard locks. Just ignore the ash. I mean, Eri's still got. I mean, Eri's got a pretty commanding lead here. Just having an outstanding run. Really would be really hard for anyone in this tournament to be keeping up with this.
It'd be hard for Eri to keep up with this.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
though
he's not. I don't. I mean, he's.
he gets on these paces sometimes. This is an excellent run. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes you just get a fantastic run and it's hard to match.
Yeah, yeah, it's really like that. Eri losing 2 seconds with a 309. That's just absolutely disgusting. Like, yeah, that's the thing about like splits like that, where it's just like you have some just ridiculous splits that are pretty bad. It's got a looks like a 506 turtle rod, which is okay. This isn't really a split he's going to look to save a lot of time on, but it's not a ridiculous split. Well, okay.
That's going to lose you a couple seconds right there, which feels bad because you're just like 1 pixel away from where you need to be, and you don't get into the.
Yeah, and he did this. You can avoid the spin by just continuing to holding your sword, but it's really tricky because you can't menu while holding B for some bizarre reason in this game. So you have to like let go of it.
And you're like trying to contort your hands to like move and pause and navigate the menus and everything else.
Yeah, then you got to re-hit B, and then you got to hit A. Like it's actually pretty tricky to avoid the spin, but it is possible. So. But I mean, he had a really good swim, so he just really lost a couple seconds there. I mean, he could still, not lose time on the split. Like I said, the 506, he lost just about that amount of time. So if the rest of his turtle's clean, won't really be losing too much time. He's still 12 ahead of his PB. I don't know what his RNG. I assume good.
2 blue balls, but I think Ganon Warp not was Ganon Warps are pretty low, so.
Yeah, I mean, to get a 1003, you have to have some good RNG, right? Like 0-1. Okay.
0-1. Okay, never mind. I was looking at something else then where I saw 2. Oh, you know what? I was looking at his NMG PB because whenever you go to speedrun.com, NMG always shows up first. And so I just like saw Eri and thought about it there. Oh, was the 05 the one? Oh, yeah. Okay. Also on speedrun.com, it says it's 110.05, and his splits are 110.03. So.
Yeah, sometimes you get that small PB and just don't even bother because it's like if you're not cutting anyone, it's just like whatever.
But this is going to be absurd to say. I'm pretty sure Eri's also up against like a 706 GT in his PB. And normally we're like, 706, that's excellent. That's plus 16 on his gold now, which...
Yeah, apparently that's fucking garbage.
Kind of what we're always looking for is, like, if you can be within 5 seconds of your gold, is a pretty solid split. Maybe not the best you've ever, like, obviously not the best you've ever done, but not like even the best of what you would expect out of yourself in a run. Once you start to get to that like plus 10 for most splits, it's like this was a little bit of a disaster. Should have done much better here.
Yeah, that Helma on that bridge just being a dick.
Yeah, and so like I mean, Aries had a pretty solid segment other than, the one mistake to get into Ice Rod Cave and then the Helma there, which is not even really his own fault necessarily.
Yeah, there's ways of dealing with it, but that is definitely one of the worst energies. Wow, and gets Muhammad all lead by this ice head here.
Ooh, Indy a little bit low, a little bit high rather, and gets locked in.
All right, well with that, I'm gonna get my last cup of coffee here.
Yeah, that room Andy did, you have to walk kind of deceptively low. Link's reach with the Tempered Sword is surprisingly long. Ooh, gets bad RNG here. Good reaction there. Thing is, those Pokies do 4 hearts, and he currently on 3 hearts, so getting hit would have been bad.
Can Duck explain the Ali comparison? He bobbed and weaved. He floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee. Man, come on. Seems, I don't know, seems straightforward to me. Not my best work. Well, what do you want me to call it?
So yeah, after all that talk about Andy's bombs, he's actually on the correct amount of bombs here. So
yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's pretty easy just to kind of like, you can kind of like turn a bunch of knobs up and down to kind of get back to where you need to. So it's not too bad.
Harry taking the old man refill. It's a few seconds. The thing is, like, it's 5 seconds, but it lets you play GT so much more aggressively that sometimes it makes up for it just on that alone. Especially if you're going for all the damage boost strats, and then you have like, you know, you walk into mini Helma room with 3 hearts, you take the damage booster on 2 hearts, and now it's like, well, I can't mess up anything.
Yeah, I mean, the most common variation is skipping the old man hearts and then doing the safe floor 2. So it's like the old man only saves like 2 seconds or something like that. So it's not really that big. But with being on PB pace, excuse me, you know, a little surprised. Although, I guess, I mean, Eri knows he can still save time with the heal too. So, you know, I'm sure he definitely wants the PB, definitely wants the 109, definitely wants to win too. So.
You miss spike skip, that's like 2 seconds because the hook shot goes out and comes back and you can't move. It's kind of significant. And when you do get spike skip, it only saves like 20 frames or something.
I thought it was like a second.
Oh, it's less than a second. It's not huge because you're basically just waiting on the time that you would like. That you're waiting for the spike to pass. But you can also like keep walking down, right? So during that time, which is going to save a little bit of time too. So it's like, it's not that significant to get, but it looks cool.
Yeah,
so
it looks
every time.
Well, it looks cool to people who know what they're looking for. So it's heckin' rando players. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm concentrating on Eri a lot just because he's on quite the pace here. You know, this late in the tournament, if you see a gap like this, it's usually because someone made one of those classic mistakes. Eri is just crushing it. I mean, yeah, this is just a very, very good run. Just really no one's keeping up with this. Like you said, not even Eri, 99% of the time.
And yeah, you see going for the beam strats here. He's going to take 3 hearts of damage in this room. Extra menu, so maybe it is a little bit nerves as well, because that's not something you typically mess up unless you are a little bit nervous.
Yeah, that's the problem. GT is just such a hard split at the end when you're on PB pace, especially if you need a good GT to PB. It's just like the nerves are definitely real in this dungeon, and like it just feels like out of your hands sometimes. Like you're just like, well, I hope I have a good one. I probably won't, but let's see. Oh, yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Things like that cannonball room where you have so many patterns you have to know, and it's like, that's why like I take the time loss. I've never dashed in that room because it's so much to learn, like when to dash, when not to dash. That it's.
I mean, there's really only 3 there's like 32 or something in there, but there's really only like 3 things you have to look for. There's like 2 different ways to dash to that room, and then there's one where it's just like bad. And like I think there's ways of doing the bad dashes, but you can just kind of learn those 3, and then like as long as you're paying attention to the cannonball, you can tell when you're about to get hit too, and you can still bail out of it. So it's not too terribly bad. Pretty rare for Alec to. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. This is what GD does to you when you're on. This is why I don't get like people who just get like these ridiculous GTs. There's so much RNG in this dungeon, like Gauntlet and then Landmo. I guess that's mostly it. Just really those 2, and then the rest of them are just difficult. But you know, it's pretty easy to lose 10 seconds in here just from RNG, honestly.
Yeah, and even when you're not losing 10 seconds to RNG, like, okay, or you can get poked by these guys, which is the worst feeling in the world. On the bridge there, like even when you're not losing 10 seconds to RNG, it's pretty easy to mess up something like this room that Andy's doing here. For the most part, it goes well, but sometimes you are just a tiny bit off in your timing, like he was there, and you're getting hit. And you're losing a couple seconds, and then you're getting in your own head. I can't believe I messed that up.
Yeah, I mean, Andy failed it in the best way possible, where he got hit, but he also got hit down. So that wasn't too bad. It's just that he lost the heart, and without having the old man refill, and then getting BMOS in the ass right there, like it can come quickly apart. He doesn't need the Helma key, so. There is the damage boost strat that Eri did. The one nice thing about the helmet, there is a damageless backup, and it's after all the damage you're expected to take in the dungeon, so you can back up into it pretty easily. As long as you're not maining that, like you're able to go for the damage boost most of the time, it becomes worth it. And then you just have the nice backup. Oh, Andy, yeah, not that was. I think he just missed more than that was bad RNG, but still losing the time on that.
Hover in this category is not really a thing. It only is going to save like 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, he's still going to do it, but it's he will admit he does it because he's a dummy, not because it's all that efficient.
Ooh. That first cycle was really tough, but 3 cycle on Aga2 is pretty good here. 3 cycle is one of those things where it's like, you're never sad you got a 3 cycle, even if you missed a 2 cycle, because you're like, well, at least it wasn't a 6 cycle.
Yeah. The worst is when you like have like a bad cycle and like you miss, and then like on top of that you're getting bad RNG where you get like a blue ball and then like 2 hit at the same time. So it's like you made 1 mistake and then you get RNG'd, and then all of a sudden it's a 5 or something. You're just like, I hate this game.
Now, a big advantage of going for Helma key, which is not necessarily immediately obvious, is that so even though we do a lot of saving and quitting in this category to reset prize packs, we don't save and quit here. And these prize pack guards that we're going to kill on Eri's side, if you get the heart in Mini Helma, the next thing up is a fairy. And since you're usually pretty low coming out of GT, like Andy is here, that fairy can make a pretty big difference just in how comfortable you are with Aga Tower.
But not only that, it's you have the refill frames. We have this pretty nasty refill. We're going to be using all of our magic here. You can also get the magic drop there, and then there's actually another full magic in a different prize pack later on. So the absolute god Aga Tower is getting the fairy and then getting the magic late, and you can get like a 0-second refill. It's pretty nice, but it's super rare. Like a lot of RNG has to line up. Ooh, Annie opening up for triple. Nice.
And then, yeah,
and there's the blue ball.
Every time.
But the nice thing about the triple is he can hopefully get a... Well, never mind. It was like he just needs a double here to finish him off. But those are some...
again.
Yeah, like when the main Aga blue balls, sometimes it's not too bad, and sometimes it's just really terrible, just depending where the clones are, whether you can still get the other shots in easily.
Yeah, it also helps when the clones fire before Aga, because then typically their balls are going to get to you first. Especially in since Aghanim is 50-50 on whether it's blue ball or energy ball there, you don't really want to be thinking about that one first. You're more concerned about what the clones are doing. But then you get a pattern like that where Aga fires first, and then all of a sudden you really do care what he's doing, and it takes away a lot of your focus from the clone.
Yeah, a lot of it is like just make sure you're in a position where you at least get one. So, but yeah, right now Eri is -7. He doesn't split. Oh god. Oh.
Zero here.
He was -7 coming out of Ganon's Tower. Yeah, his Aga was a little sloppy, so yeah, I think he's gonna need like 0-0, and he already got the 1, so
that, man, I hate this boss so much.
Yeah, there's kind of a split in the community on whether you like agaming at the end or not. Some people, I know Ham likes it just because you don't have the like stress of like, oh, I got a 0 blue ball run. You know, I don't want to throw it. But at the end here, it's like you've already played the entire game, and it's like these last two. It's just like, you know, Eri's a couple seconds ahead coming out of Ganon's Tower. All you have is a lottery ticket. That's it. It's just like
not one. So, actually, I don't know if this refill is going to send him over, whether he's going to be ahead or behind now. But like, I guess if we could do warps here, we could still PB. But like, that's the most frustrating thing, is that not only do you have blue balls, you are immediately followed by Ganon warps.
Yeah.
And they're just completely out of your control in both cases. So it's like, you kind of throw your hands up for 4 minutes and say, well, I hope I get lucky.
Yeah, I mean, like in RMG, you don't even really start noticing Ganon warps until you have, you know, like maybe like the 126, 125 range. Because like before that, you'll generally be on pretty good, you know, have a pretty good PB pace. That doesn't matter. But like it's so apparent here because it's just like back to back. Like I had a PB where I had 3 blue balls and I lost more time to Ganon warps. Like I was like, what the hell? Like, what is this?
The thing is that, in general, even though the Ganon fight is, you know, not too bad, like it's got some pretty tight timings, and you have to get used to it. And getting triples in Phase 4 is really like the big difference between players. And if they're going to go for an early 2 or if they're going to go for cape spin. So really, Phase 4 is the big difference in most players. And when you're in that like 127 range, your average Ganon fight is probably over 2 minutes. And then once you get down to like, you know, like you said, 125, 126, all of a sudden, you know, you're hitting triples pretty consistently. You're getting the early spins. So you're not getting a lot of extra torch lightings. And so your Ganon fight gets a lot more consistent, which is why you do start to notice the warps.
I was the exact opposite. When I was a 129, I had like a 140 Ganon. And then, like, I played AD, and then the Legend of Duck dying on Ganon started because I was so used to, like, not caring because I had so much health.
Eri not even move out of the bats.
Yeah, some players don't like having the beams here because it's just, like, the audio. You're not used to having the beams go off, so it's like you're just, screw it, I'll just face tank a bat or something. But yeah, Eri is going to come in first place with it looks like a 105. Just a ridiculous run. I mean, Andy, you know, had a very good run too. A little slot from him. He's about +30 coming out of Aga Tower, but it's just, you know, Andy can definitely 110. He would, most people would struggle to get a low 110. So,
well, Aga Tower. So you know, it's a good takeaway.
Yeah, I'm sure Ariel will be popping in here shortly.
And you got 2 blue balls, so at least, you know, when you get a little bit beat up by the rest of the game, you get, you know, don't have to sit in the Aga fight as well for this long. Like, that's the worst feeling, is when you're on a bad run and Aga gives you every blue ball that he has. It's just like, dude, I just want to do something else.
Yeah, tell me about giving all the blue balls you have again. Anyway, we're joined by Eri. GG's Eri. That was a hell of a run, dude.
Yeah. Oh, can't complain, but I won't.
Oh, yes, you can absolutely complain. That's. I give you permission to complain right now. Go. I know you want. I know you got a 1 low 10. I give you permission to complain.
The run was insane until Desert. Like, the only bad split until Desert was Eastern. So when that happens, you know, you're actually gaming. And then it all went off the rails. Like,
Yeah,
that nerve stuff really got to me.
I mean, like when you're this close, you know you can play the what if game all day, but it's just like you almost saved the 0 cycle, and that probably would have been it, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
so
probably.
yeah, I mean, right around there. Just both of you actually ended up getting an empty cycle. Andy missed it. Just missed the hook dash right off the bat, and he almost saved it, which was really impressive. But yeah, you had the yield turnaround halfway through, which feels bad.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, there were tons of mistakes like between Myra and GT. So, like, on the other hand, I know I can get these paces again, and in the end, it was just a race, right? So it was nice that I was on PB pace, but in the end, like going for old man hearts, I just wanted to not screw up in GT and go for
Yeah, I mean, maybe like if you skipped Old Man Hearts, you know, it's like 2 seconds. So this would have been like a 0 second PB, you know, if you did that. But yeah, GT was a little rude to you, that Lambo.
Yeah, it's really...
I mean, when you're 5 seconds within a 109, just like there's so much just one thing that went wrong that you can. But yeah, just outstanding run. Definitely, you know, you just have to throw so many runs at this to get like a PB or a milestone like you're looking for. So, but yeah, I mean, you made the race boring, so I'll say that.
Well, excuse me. Andy could have just, you know, gone faster. I don't know.
Yeah, why didn't we'll ask him that. Why didn't you just get a low 10, Andy?
Yeah, I was like, I think the most annoying thing was spooky. I just didn't walk far enough left. So
yeah, I missed how you messed it up. I just saw you standing down there again at the end. But were you? I saw you switch your compare. Was that? I guess that was best split time. Was that your best Meyer split?
No, it was my best Mars split. It was my best Desert split by 5 seconds.
Well, that's right. Desert is when you were ahead, right, and then Meyer went.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, I'm surprised with how much went wrong in Meyer.
I mean, it was a solid Meyer all the way until I guess Meyer 2-2. Like, I had some bad Bobo movement, and then the rest was good until Spooky, and then I got a 1 cycle of pity. And I mean, that's just a lot of time, right? I didn't have a perfect Meyer bomb jump, but it was solid enough. Like, I didn't lose too much, and the rest of Meyer was actually pretty good. So. But then Swamp, like, all over the place. And first skip bombed and all that crap. Yeah. I can talk about it, what went wrong like all day long, but in the end, like it was solid, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just definitely one of the. I mean, I know, like, did Zelda get a 109 in any of his races? I don't know. I think in the groups he got like, yeah. But this might be the second fastest run in the tourney. I'd have to look at the old spreadsheet to find out. But yeah, it's just, I mean, we were saying it's just like not. There's no one really that can keep up with this pace, including you, most of the time. So.
He got a 110.31 and a 110.57 in groups. I'm not sure what he got in brackets.
Meanwhile, Andy is just hanging out in the waiting room for some reason.
Classic.
Astor said
permissions
109. So yeah, this might be the fastest run of the tournament.
Pretty nuts.
Yeah. finally joined by Andy. GG's to you.
GG.
So, Ari had an important question. He asked, "Why didn't you also get a low 110?"
Well, you know, I don't have an answer. I'm just bad.
Yeah, I mean, you got a what ended up being a 12:43, just like a minute over your PB. Like you've dropped besides the 2 hard locks, I think you've dropped a 112 in like every single one of your races. Maybe you had like one low 113 or something, but like just that level of consistency is just really outstanding. It shows you how far you can get in this tournament. Just playing this category consistent is a major challenge, and you ended up getting 4th place with this. So GG's to you.
Yeah, we had 2 hard locks, like 11 112s and a 111.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up switching controllers like right before this race because my start button needed like my full arm strength to actually get the start menu to show up. So this D-pad was pretty stiff. And I was like, once Kiki didn't work, I was like, well, this might be a little rough. But it was okay. The run was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, it was like kind of like the standard amount of like tournament slop. It was just, Ari had a hell of a run, and on, we were looking for the 109 maybe, but unfortunately, just a couple of bad RNG. You guys both ended up almost saving an Argus 0 cycle. I was actually really impressed. I think yours was even more impressive, the fact that you almost saved it. Missing that, when I missed that first one, I end up with a 2 cycle more often than not. So it was both you had really nice save attempts, just getting the empty, which is unfortunate. But yeah, solid runs from both you. Solid run from you throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, random main gets top 4 in AD tournament, just like how Doom's Out got top 4 in the random tournament last time, right? It's like. Yeah, it's so impressive. I mean, playing to the past makes you better at Link to the Past, but it's just so incredible how Andy manages to just stay good at the game in different like glitched categories, even though they don't really pop up that much in randomizer, but he just stays on the top of the scene all the time.
Well,
it's great.
When you cheat, you
Andy would never cheat.
A race, but if he's half the time screwing around, and yeah, he does. He definitely cheats.
Oh man, yeah, it was fun. I mean, this was the one category that Christos Owen had a better PB than me before the tournament started, and now that's just not the case anymore. Yeah, I think I started the tournament with like a 112.40 or something like that.
Sir, you had the 114, the old.
Well, that was before the time qualification thing ended. I got a 112, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We improved a bunch, so I can't really be upset. And I got 4th when I was like the 20th best PB coming into the tournament. So.
There were many goofs in this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, there's been just a massive increase in everyone's times, and the amount of times. Like I've said a couple times, we had like 40 runs before we even started on the board, and like we're up to like 80 now. Like there was like 2 110. The world record came down by over a minute. There's 9 110 now. Like just really a lot of improvements. I think that's what we were looking to see from this. We got a lot of new people in. I've seen some of those people can like do like random runs of this too, so it's nice to have this run get all that exposure. And yeah, Check's pointing out that he started off this tournament with what may still be one of the better races of this entire tournament with that first race. So, but yeah, glad to have you. It's always nice seeing you do speed runs. And yeah, just really outstanding finish. Like, just you might have probably have like one of the best averages in the tournament, honestly, if we throw away the 2 hard locks.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I get to dump 2 races too, my average is almost a 110. So
Yeah, well, you're just airy. You don't count.
I have a 114 in groups where I died to Helma, and I have a 114 because I spent 3 minutes on Kiki Skip.
I get to throw out my ball on chain death because I reset, right? That I can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Yeah, Dow, do you have anything? I tend to chat.
Yeah, where's the smack talk? Since you guys are racing each other next.
Well, see, I'm a bit torn here because my bracket prediction has Eri winning losers finals. if that happens, then I win bracket. But it has me winning the tournament, so I'm gonna try to win.
So like, there's no way your prediction is right.
I might be able to get the come from behind victory here on the predictions if Eri ends up winning. So I might have to go kneecap Boyne. I don't know why you need knees for this, but
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a rough match to beat Boyne twice for either of us.
Wow, the disrespect, Dow. You're gonna put that up on your bulletin board?
For either of us.
I said between Dow and me, whoever wins is gonna have a hard time winning against Boyne twice.
Yeah, but
That's literally what I said.
Look, I'm trying. This is like the pre-fight like stare-off thing. I'm trying to get you guys to get a slap fight or something. I don't know.
I don't know. He's great. I'm still gonna destroy him, but he's great.
Well, as long as Helma doesn't destroy you first.
Yeah, sure. But if you need someone else to do the job for you, I mean, what's really going on, right?
Just pay off that Moldorm in Kiki Skip again. That should treat it down.
I just want to shout out my boy Pika Pals for correctly predicting me getting 4th in the tournament.
Nice.
The only person that put me in the top 4.
Yo, really?
Yup. Oh man, I was curious, so I just looked. That was funny. Yeah, GG's Eri, good run.
Yeah, good run.
You gotta get your revenge on Dow for me.
Yeah, first gotta get revenge for some against Dow,
and then you get your own revenge. Yep.
Exactly.
We raced the AGDQ, the only time we've raced this category, I believe, and Eri forfeited. So you know.
Did I?
Yeah, he died twice.
Oh, dude, I died twice in GT. That's right. That happened. I think it was actually that I died twice against Agate too.
God.
Imagine racing at GDQ and not doing the new hotness that was from Go.
Well, we also ran RMG. Those were some good runs.
Yeah, those were definitely a mistake.
Right.
But yeah,
I think.
more.
You say?
I was just. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, thank you very much for the comments. Thank you, Andy, for the race. Great run. And,
Thanks for organizing this tournament, Apathy. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, by the way, how's the rug?
Oh, it's good. It came in at 2:59 p.m. yesterday with the 11 to 3 window. So
Kelsey did ask me to tell you that she told you at least 5 times when it was coming in. So.
Yep.
All right. From Zelda Speedruns team as well. Great, congratulations on the 4th place there. Pretty well finished for the tournament. But yeah, in case you all are looking for more ZSR content, we do have the Wind Waker Randomizer bi-weekly race today at 10 p.m. Central European Summer Time, which is in about 3.5 hours from now. So you wanna catch that as well, and that's gonna be fun as well. But yeah, Thank you everyone for making this restream possible. And I think everything has been said pretty much, right? I think everything that needed to be said has been said.
I think we're done here.
All right. Catch you next time, everyone.
See you.